Standing outside on Black Friday may be a thing of the past. Some stores like Macy's, JCPenney, and even Target are going to open on Thanksgiving Day, but one woman wants to change that.
Lifting weights is no joke, but what if you didn't have to exercise to lose weight? Or you could eat whatever you wanted, like this burger packed with calories, and it wouldn't impact your waistline. And forget about plastic surgery. What if you could take off the pounds without going under the knife? Sounds too good to be true? It may not be, all because of what happened with these mice.
Having a little pinball tournament. Nice two-day tournament filled with pinball and fun. Pinball went through its biggest boom back in the 70s and 80s, then kind of faded off and fell back to just one company producing pinball machines. Over the last 3 or 4 years, though, kids have started getting back into it. Arcades have started coming back. There are a lot more barcades now where you have pinball machines in the bars themselves, and it's definitely going through a huge resurgence right now across the country. It's a popular saying in pinball, competitive pinball, if you aren't tilting, you aren't playing.
Ah! Oh! Got it.
So you definitely have to move the machine. You have to, it's all about managing the balls.
Julie Dorsers, London, Ontario, Canada. So we got to the border and they said, what is the purpose? And I said, oh, we're going to a pinball tournament. And she was like, oh, what do you do at a pinball tournament? And we were like, we play pinball. And she said, well, how do they play it? I think she wondered if we were telling the truth or she was just really curious about pinball.
That's the great thing about pinball. Yes, you can play pinball on your computer, on your tablets. I play it on my iPad at home. But to actually play the mechanical game itself, there's nothing like it. Every shot's different, just like golf. Every little nuance is different. And you just can't get that in a computerized version versus actually having that metal ball going around the table.
It would be nice to see a younger generation, continue it, carry the torch on. I'm trying to get people into it all the time. I always, I'll leave credits on machines and say, hey, you want to play that? When
you actually sit down and play the pinball machine with the mechanical ball, it's so much different than the video version. And I think that's gradually catching on again.
Everybody's welcome, right? Pinball is not something where we exclude anybody. You want to come out and play, everybody's welcome. It's a very wonderful group of people.
And seeing this resurgence coming on now, seeing all these players here for the tournament, it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, we finally just got a chance to catch our breaths here. We were moved back to Saginaw and Sherman. Now, if you see right over my shoulder here, that is where the house that the SWAT team has been focusing on all day. Like you said, about an hour ago, shots were fired. We did see after reviewing our video that shots were fired by that SWAT team. Now, we have some uncut video from that, and we're going to take a look right now. As you can see, just a very chaotic scene there. Can't stress that enough. Dozens of people have been held out all day watching the SWAT team approach the home and pull back using tear gas, using a battering ram. Nothing to quite coax him out until it kind of escalated where you see the shots fired there. Now, we did hear rumors. We did hear police chatter. We did hear rumors that he is on foot. Now, we're talking about Duron Gaylor Jr. He's wanted in connection for 2 murders. He is believed to be armed and dangerous. I just spoke to Michigan State Police. They are telling people to avoid the entire north end, actually. They're saying this is still a dangerous situation, but will not confirm if Duron is on foot. So we're standing here right now, safely barricaded. They've got caution tape all along Saginaw, and people are here kind of watching, waiting to see what's happening. Again, we don't know if he is on foot, if he's still on the home, and that is why we are monitoring this situation very closely.
I'm just trying to get to work. I got to work a mile up the street.
Well, we're not letting anybody through.
Why is that?
Because we're making a statement today.
I'm standing up for what I believe in, which is we should get $15 an hour.
We need to get these people off the street.
But that's just it. They're not going to move until you do the civil disobedience arrest.
Why is that?
Because that's what they want.
Protesters spilled out onto Stewart Avenue, sitting side by side to block traffic, causing police to respond.
Even go as far as getting arrested just to show that we're serious, because they're not taking us serious.
You understand that you cannot be in the street? Okay, I'm letting you know you can't be in the street. You understand that now?
The protesters refuse to move.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Women on one bus, men on the other bus.
They don't put no fear in me. They think we should just leave, but we stand up for what we want.
We're shooting our guns to let McDonald's and the governor of the state of Michigan know that we're not going to sit by and accept right to work and accept slave wages.
Doing this to get us our $15 an hour is definitely worth it.
This is where it started, back in 1947.
And that's the year this now annual game also got its name.
Fingerball. Several people had ended up with broken fingers, so they just gave it that nickname. This is the 68th annual Fingerball.
My first year was 1957.
Fred Krause's father, Charles Krause, was one of the original. One of those Flint Central High guys who got this going.
They had a club when they were in school, and their club decided they needed an event so they could stay together after graduation, and this was the event they had. Every January 1st at 11 o'clock on Flint Central Field, they'd be here. The sole surviving original member showed up 3 years ago. He's 86.
Krause says it's always old.
That definition of the age changed over the years.
Versus young.
The old guys are in red and the young guys in yellow.
The game usually draws a good-sized group, but many of the regulars did have other plans today in a much warmer place thousands of miles away.
Half of our team is at the Rose Bowl.
Brett Polis, back in town from Boise, Idaho, has played.
They're always looking to recruit.
But had to sit this one out.
Broke my ankle, otherwise I'd be out there.
Krause is nursing an injury too, but tradition trumped it.
Just want to make sure my doctor doesn't see this. Probably doesn't want me playing, but here I am and got to keep my string alive.
You are looking at soon to be a relic, 35mm film, and this is how movies have came for the last 100 years. So Hollywood said no more.
With technology going to the digital age, Hollywood is no exception. Movie studios are looking to save money on how it prints and distributes the blockbuster movies we see on the big screen. For just one print of a 35mm film, it costs the movie studios about $1,500 to print and ship it to movie theaters around the globe. The new digital copies are a lot cheaper, taking the cost from $1,500 to about $150. But that savings by the movie studios is coming at a big price for the movie theaters, especially drive-ins.
Well, there's a lot of drive-ins that may not have the financial wherewithal or may not want to spend the kind of money required to upgrade to digital when you're talking about $70,000 investment per screen.
Putting a big investment into something that is not going to get a return.
That investment is going to be tough for the drive-in movie theaters that have been able to survive the years.
Hello.
Gary Ritzenthaler considers himself an amateur historian. He says Michigan once boasted about 130 drive-ins. Now the count is down to about 8 around the entire state, including the US 23 drive-in in Mundy Township. The investment needed for theaters to switch from 35mm to digital could cut the number of existing theaters even lower.
There's the numbers we have to crunch to see if the investment is worth it. You know, that's close to almost, $250,000. We're looking into it, and hopefully we can make it happen.
My concern is that there are going to be drive-ins in the state and actually around the United States that are just not even small little independent indoors that are not going to have the funds. It won't make sense to make that switch.
But at least one drive-in theater here in Michigan believes the big investment to change is worth it. They are the owners of the Capri Drive-In in Coldwater, Michigan.
The Capri Drive-In is owned by Tom and Sue Magokes. It's been in the Magokes family for 48 years.
Hi, which movie?
The kids' one. There's one in each night.
Okay, $8.
And it's been one of the most well-maintained drive-ins, probably at least around the Midwest, in the top 5 or so.
Concession stand is my job, yeah. How good is that? I go to a job every night that people like to come to.
a job Sue and Tom Magost have devoted their lives to. And now they're giving up even more in order to keep the theater going.
We had a lake house. That was our house, you know, our first home. And we weren't using it because, Susan, it doesn't make sense. We can sell that and still have a job, still have a business.
It's something they just can't walk away from.
These were actually my dad's. He used to own theaters in Detroit area. And this is probably over 60 years old, this projector head. Hopefully we can get one more year out of film. They say in the journals, probably by the end of 2013, this should be done.
They called us a hidden treasure, and already people come from Detroit, Ann Arbor, Fort Wayne, Chicago, and we're a destination. Why? Because there's no drive-ins left in these big cities, or if they are, they're not like this. People say when they enter this drive-in, it's like they've been taken back into like the 60s, 50s, 60s.
I mean, I think it's a unique experience, so I hope that some are able to survive, but economy makes it difficult, I'm sure.
In Coldwater, Lori Dugavito, ABC 12 News.
These leaves are a lot prettier on the trees than they are on the ground.
For a lot of folks, falling leaves means yard work and chores. But if you're looking in the right places...
Changing of the colors, it's like a artist's palette, really. You never know what you're going to see one day to the next.
Yeah, it just looks nice. It's like a tapestry.
You'll find a color palette worthy of Picasso. And you don't have to drive very far north to find it.
Our colors come a little bit later than other colors in this area of the state, so you get a little longer season there.
Take a drive up US 23 through the Tawas Bay region and you'll find a kaleidoscope of color.
I remember this being real nice when I was a kid, and I hit it on the right day. I don't think you could top this. I've been to Aspen, and it's probably more spectacular scenery, but for just plain color, this is it.
I think it's a thing that, you have in Michigan that you don't have in a lot of states.
Fall foliage seekers have a bird's eye view of the Au River.
It's really cool.
I think it's spectacular.
Or if you're willing to climb a few stairs, 85 to be exact, Tawas Point Lighthouse provides a panoramic view from 70 feet up.
I have a view of almost to Bay City this way and Charity Island that way. Tawas is right behind me.
As the seasons shift from summer to autumn, Tawas quiets down. But for those who are in the know, they might say there's nothing quite like Tawas in the fall.
Oh, I love it. I mean, this is October is really my favorite month of the year.
Just how beautiful it is, just how beautiful nature is,
Creation and how beautiful God made everything.
Those that have not come up north to see them lately, they're missing out.
In the colorful Tawas Bay area, Jennifer Prophet, ABC 12 News.